Welcome
Welcome
to Shade in the City. I'm Treese.
It's Nose.
And today we are going to jump right back into Porsha's Family Matters.
Messy cup.
What we learned this episode is Dennis and his mama don't matter, but apparently her family matters. That's what she wants us to believe.
It's Porsha Family Matters.
So we are getting into episode 6 of this messiness, and it looks like we might leave Mexico even messier than we started. So
yes,
let's get into it and let's get shady. All right now. So I told y'all it was going to be messy. And Nels did such a great job getting these screenshots because in every shot, except for the one up top where you see her falling out, screaming and crying, Porsha is clearly the aggressor. I don't see not one shot of, I see Dennis over here and Mama Darlene pulling on him. I see Porsha trying to pick up and throw it at him.
I think at one point I saw, it seemed like Lauren even hit Dennis.
Lauren, so from what I saw, my vantage point, Mama Darlene was hanging on to Dennis and like pulling on him. So he's not trying to hit her, like get off me, but she's constantly pulling on him. Mm-hmm. He's trying to go and protect his mother and get her out of this situation that she's in, because clearly the way that I received it was that she lunged at Mama Gina.
Porsha did.
Yes.
Okay,
and
so you're in agreement.
And that's what started this. That's my point.
You're in agreement with
disagree. But I think Porsha lunged at Mama Gina, which any son, I'm not going to beat you down because you're the mother of my child, but you're not going to put your hands on my mother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And especially when they're in a situation where they're clearly outnumbered. Only Lauren that had sense was the assistant Lauren.
She stayed out of that shit.
No, she actually was like pulling Darlene off of Dennis and was like, you need to chill out, get off, like stay out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yes, she tried to stay out of it. And then as I told Nels off camera, and this, I understand how I'm not going to sit here and act like just because you're not a part of a fight or a traumatic situation, that doesn't mean that it can't be traumatizing or it can't affect you. But I guess what bothered me about Dom, especially being the only other male in that situation, was that he was somewhere by the bar pacing back and forth and crying. I'm just saying. I just feel like if that's supposed to be your girl, you ride or die for her. Simon ain't do it. Cause Simon's like, I'm too old and I'm too classy for this shit.
He was just trying to protect his fiance, really.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That was his goal. But I don't know. I guess friend goals, maybe my loyalty works different. Because as long as I know you're good, then I'm going after the aggressor. As long as I know you're good, then I'm going after who hurt you. At least that's how I work. So
So I mean, I feel like there was a lot going on. I didn't necessarily see it, but you seen it. Other people, including Dennis, did say that Porsha lunged at his mother, which could start this whole big fight.
Yeah.
But to be quite honest with you, this happening is not a surprise to me. Clearly tensions are still super high. Emotions are still super high. She has not completely got over what he did.
She said that. She said this was one of the worst times of my life to have to sit here. And now we're talking about having a conversation about how this man cheated on me while I was pregnant. This is the reason why we are not together. This is the reason why we are not getting married. This is the reason
why my entire family. In front of your entire family on a retreat where you're supposed to be there to relax and come together. So I don't necessarily like to talk on how people react when they're emotional.
I don't, you know me, I don't, but that's why I said being emotional, my natural reaction is, as long as I know you're good as your friend, as your ride or die, I'm gonna go after that bitch. Like,
I know it seems like Porsha was the aggressor, and it's possible she was. And I don't want to make excuses for anybody, but she clearly had a lot going on this trip. There was a lot, that could have triggered her. The mother, loving the fact that Dennis brought somebody, and it's kind of all up in her face. The fact that Dennis even brought somebody. The fact that Dennis is even there. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't even imagine being in, put in this predicament, but it was a lot. It was a lot. I told Trees, I even got emotional watching the scene where Porsha got emotional because it was a lot.
All right.
So this is the next morning after all the shenanigans. And it looks like everyone is just trying to, pack up, be calm and let go of whatever the hell, happened last night. We see Lauren is up here meditating. We got our little boot thing in the water. She floating.
Aunt Liz is out here living her best peaceful life. She like, ain't bothering me. I'm light as a feather.
Okay. Exactly. But we did find out in the scene that so Porsha did send a text, checking up on everybody, seeing how everyone's doing. But she did let them know
we are not to speak about what
happened. Not to speak on what happened last night. So I can only imagine that would be a little awkward. It was a huge major scene, and everybody got to come together and act like ain't shit happened. So.
And that was pretty much it. So it's like, I can only imagine as a producer how I would feel if this is what your family matters. This is what we signed up for. And now you're going back on the contractual agreement that you made. And now something that happened on camera, you now don't want to talk about it.
You want to sweep under the rug.
Yeah. So it's what it is.
I can't do. That's what Porsha said. That's not what the healer said.
Oh. I like it.
Anyway, so we start off on the bus. Everybody loads up on the bus after that crazy evening that they all had. And they decide, it looks like Lauren reached out to a friend and life coach named Elle or Ella. I can't really understand exactly what
I think she said saying. It was Elle.
Elle, okay. Elle. And they are on the bus and they are headed to the cenote, again, to do a chakra cleanse. But on the way there, Porsha mentions in this scene that, this is how her family rolls. They don't dwell on things and they just kind of sweep things under the rug. And that's how it's always been. But she's saying that like she didn't tell them, send them a text not to say anything. And Aunt Liz, she's like, this would have been the perfect time to talk about it while we all on the bus together.
Okay.
To get it all out. You know, we all here. It would have been the perfect time. So I think Aunt Liz wasn't really feeling it, but you know, she did listen um to what Porsha requested. Um, so then they get to the cenote, and they all sit down, and you know, I'm not even sure if they said this lady's name, but she is doing their chakra cleanse. And apparently, with different parts of the body, it represents different colors. So for each color, you know, each part, you know, she does something different. Aunt Liz, Aunt Liz, Aunt Liz. I swear to God, boy, this Aunt Liz, she a shady little somebody. She is
Not shady,
shady.
she's real. I love it. It's real.
She's real, but she's also shady because you can be real
She's
and
real
still
shady.
come across nice. She clearly don't like these friends.
Oh, no.
She do not like these friends.
She doesn't like Dom. She's very clear about her feelings about Dom.
She feels like they're instigators. And a lot of this shit was really because of them.
I'm so I'm gonna break in that moment. I'm with Aunt Liz on that one. The conversation about Dennis cheating, if I knew something that hurt you, what I'm not going to do.
You didn't see that.
What I'm not going to do is bring that up on a public platform or at a dinner table, and unless that's something that you wanted to discuss, and then at that point you have the floor. But it's not here for me as your friend knowing what happened, or it's not my job to throw. That's your story to tell.
Well, let me just say this in Dom's defense. Okay. Dom didn't bring it up at the dinner table.
No, okay? Porsha did ask. Porsha
asked, and they actually didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to talk about it. Was it Londi that eventually said what it was?
No. It was
the other Lauren.
Yes, it was the other Lauren. Londi kept her mouth shut too.
She eventually told what the conversation was, and I feel, and Dom didn't even bring it up at the tequila place either.
Dennis did. You're right.
Dennis did. So I don't want to say that he instigated anything because he never actually brought it up. It was always drug out of him.
Facts, but I think the energy that he gave when he delivered it also had a lot to do with it as well.
I would give the same energy. So you're blaming me for for breaking up your family when really it's your fault.
Well, yes, accountability. I get that. Yes.
You're blaming me saying, oh, you're the reason that me and Porsha ain't together no more. You should have kept your mouth shut. No, sir. Fuck me keeping my mouth shut. At the end of the day, that's my friend. And I'm friends with her sister as well. What you should have done is kept your dick in your pants.
Well, it all boils down
to. I don't really feel like it's fair to really place this blame on Dom, quite honestly.
Okay.
Anyways.
Difference in perspective, but me and Aunt Liz feel like his aura ain't right. His energy ain't right. Not on this trip.
She don't like him because he ain't family. She don't like the people that they call them family and ain't family.
No, because she
don't like the other Lauren too.
She mentioned Storm.
Oh, did she mention Storm?
Yeah. They cut when she was talking about the instigators, and they cut to a thing of Storm.
But did she say Storm?
She never said Lauren. She never said Dom.
She did mention the other Lauren before when she was having a conversation. She's like, I don't know these people. These are not my family. I don't
know these people. But she really, like she said, she really don't know Darlene and Storm like that. These are not my family. I don't know these people. I think she feels like Mama Gina is more family to her than Storm and Darlene are.
But once again, you're choosing your family, just like Porsha and Lauren are choosing who they consider family.
Well, great points. Great points. What did they say? Friends are the family you choose. It's on somebody's plaque on somebody's wall somewhere.
You're so stupid. So,
you know.
Well, anyways, after all of this, production finally comes out.
And they're like, what's the shit, y'all? Because you're bullshitting us right now.
He's basically like,
happened last night and nobody's talking about
it. You need to address it. And
not to mention we're paying you. We done paid for this trip to Mexico. You need to address it.
Aunt Liz is like, we were told not to.
And like, they said, by who?
Look, she did her little eyes like this. She said,
No, see, this is how you don't even know. I want to go look up Aunt Liz's sign. Aunt Liz is so cute with it. She even hit the shoulders. You didn't see it? She was like,
Porsha did.
Right here.
And you can see Porsha getting pissed off. Porsha's getting pissed off because she spun this narrative like, oh, that's the way my family get down. We just, sweep things under the rug. And
we don't talk about
who we are. And really, you told him not to say shit. Okay? You told him not to say shit. And she ends up basically saying like, are we done? And he's like, I mean, we can rap. And she's like, okay, yeah, let's do that. Ma'am, you didn't address.
You want to wrap it up, but you didn't address.
Exactly. You didn't address what was going on. So apparently they wrapped it up. They left it at that. Later on, Porsha decides to address it. And it's probably because production pulled her ass to the side and said, ma'am, you are in breach of your contracts. And if you want that check that I'm sure you done cashed already and don't want to end up owing us or going to court, we're going to talk about this conversation.
Not even that too. I'm sure Porsha still had some sort of control over the narrative of what they could discuss once they did discuss it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sure she was like, we're not going to mention me hitting, like she was, we'll get to that. But I think that she still had control where she was like, I'll talk about it, but we're not going to talk about this, this, and this. I do believe that happened.
Yeah. So everyone got dressed up in white, looking beautiful for dinner.
Because they're supposed to be cleansed.
Mm-hmm. So we noticed that some people are missing. Storm is MIA. And apparently, according to Porsha, she is not feeling well. So she did not go down to dinner. And we know that Dennis and Mama Gina are not there because they have left.
Because they went to Cancun.
Yeah, they left to Cancun. I thought it was shady as fuck that when Lauren, the sister, is saying this, that, it was sad and she's disappointed that things had to end this way. Porsha's just like, yay, beats.
Yes, she did say
she got to play the food.
I thought I was the only one that noticed that. I was like, this bitch just disregarded this whole shit and was like, oh, they're beat. And here's the thing, no shade. Different strokes for different folks. I ain't never seen nobody get that fucking excited about no beets. Beets are not that fucking delicious that you jumping up. I can understand if somebody put a crab cake in front of you or something and you feel that happy, but for some fucking beets and you up here, oh, beets. I was like, oh, that bitch really do not want to talk about this shit.
She was like, basically disappointed. Not me. I'm happy about these beets. Like, not disappointed at all. So then Simon. Oh, did you want to say something else?
No, I was just about to touch on that. Simon.
Sorry.
We all know that we try not to like him based off the circumstances, his history, and what we know about him on paper.
I don't have a problem with Simon.
But
he
what
cheat
I
on
would
his wife
say is
that I know.
Sadly, Porsha. Okay, sorry, viewers. I'm gonna have an intimate conversation with Porsha, right? So, your strategy, your marketing strategy, right? Your public relations strategy that you were using, you were gonna technically leave Real Housewives of Atlanta, but this is still kind of a spinoff. But I get it. You were going to leave Real Housewives of Atlanta because you didn't want to deal with that shit and being ridiculed and Kenya jumping in your ass. Right? So you went and got your own platform. I can understand how that would make you think that you now have control over a narrative, and that people are now going to view you differently because you're going to be seen in a different light. And I'm here to tell you, Porsha, this shit makes you look worse. And sadly, the only people that you are making look good is Simon and Dennis. Simon looks like he got his shit together. Like, you're the only one that looks out of sort. So this whole strategy that was thought up by your team, y'all need to go back and revisit, or you need to go to therapy and get the help that you need, because the reality of the situation is, you the only one. I mean, I'm not gonna say you the only one that look crazy, but we clearly see, yes, Dennis has a part in it and he has been fucked up, but he can't claim sole responsibility for this shit. A lot of it is you too. So I just say that. I'm done. I
want to touch on it, but I feel like I would be making excuses for her.
Making excuses for her? Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna leave it alone. What I was gonna say was, as we've seen previously in other scenes, other episodes, Simon really shows his maturity. I just love how mature he is. You know, most men would have seen their fiance fighting with their ex and being, you know, super emotional and been like, oh, I'm over this, you know, she probably still wants him or whatever, but he can recognize the fact that she is just hurt.
And not even that, I loved how even Porsha, and I'll give it to you, girl, in that particular moment, maybe because her man was right there and she knew she needed to, but I did appreciate her taking accountability in that moment at the dinner table and telling everybody else, y'all, I can admit I was so fucking upset and so in the shit. And from the past, I actually forgot I have a whole fiance sitting next to me. I forgot.
And she took accountability for not de-escalating the situation. Yes. And she should have. She said that, you know, I was so emotional. I was so hurt. It's a trigger for me. And instead of de-escalating, I said, well, you know, let's talk about it. You want to talk about it? Let's put it all on the table.
Yeah. And she made herself,
which of course made the situation worse. So she showed a sign of maturity, but I feel like Simon always does. Simon always does. He's like, we're here to support Porsha and her family. Like, whatever that takes, whatever it may be. He even said that he's used to this craziness. He said on a scale from 1 to 10, they are like a 2. That he's seen way crazy. He's like, it's not going to deter me away from marrying Porsha, keep me away from PJ, none of that. I'm here. This is a 2 on a scale from 1 to 10.
And I was telling Nels off camera, I actually think before he made that statement, I was telling her how toxic it was to be running around like this at a family and you supposed to be on vacation and whatever. And for him to say this was a 2, I was like, I do not want to come to your Christmas and Thanksgivings. If that was a 2.
Well, he didn't say it was his family that's a 10. He just said
I'm just saying.
He said he's seen.
Well, and unfortunately he has 3 other wives. So he may have dealt with other families.
That's true.
So we see Porsha stop by and see Mama Diane on her first stop back from, we won't say it's her first stop, but you know, basically once everybody touches.
It was 2 days after she got back from Mexico. I think it said.
What happened?
I think they said it was 2 days after she got back from Mexico.
Okay. So 2 days after she gets back from Mexico and they're back in Atlanta, she goes and sees Mama and spills the tea and lets her know, like, yeah, it got real crazy. And I mean, basically she just explains everything that happened. She explains her state of mind, which me and Nels talked about. It just triggered her, just the whole situation, having to rehash it. And it was a lot. I will say this. Mama Diane did her job as a mother, right? She let her know, she made her feel like, okay, you were right. I can understand how you felt. She was empathetic. She listened. She simply did all the things that you're supposed to do. Clearly also my Mama Diane likes lemon pepper wings. We found that out. And
she told her she was just like the best daughter ever, basically.
And even when the lights go out, she manages to still eat her lemon pepper wings. She's like, as long as I can see my mouth in this food, we good.
I thought it was hilarious that they were talking about Simon and what Simon wanted, that the stuff need to get out the house and all this stuff. The lights go out. Like, bitch, it's a sign. Lights out for you, bitch, if you don't do what the fuck I said. Right. I thought that was kind of cute. I thought it was funny. She goes and gets some battery operated candles, and apparently these things are like super duper bright because we were still able to see. Huh?
I think because they were so big too.
They were like, she was like, look at these things just glowing. They just lighting up the room. You wouldn't even know the damn lights was out in the house. The way that thing was lit up. But the thing is, I feel like Mama Diane, she's only hearing Porsha's side.
Exactly.
She wasn't there. Everyone else that was there, they're going to have their own opinion about what happened and what Porsha's saying. But she's only hearing Porsha's side. Not saying that her side isn't valid, right? But it's different when you see it for yourself.
Exactly.
So of course she's going to take her daughter's side, of course.
Of course. So then we see her go and she lets Mama Diane know, I'm going to go see Aunt Liz. And, I just want to check on her. I know the situation was traumatizing for a lot of folks and I just want to make sure she's okay. So we see her stop by. She stops by
Hosea Helps. It's a charity.
The food bank that they've operated or started operating, obviously in her grandfather's name, which is super dope. And basically they're planning a grand opening of the situation. And so she's basically there to see what she can do outside of donate, because we know she's going to do that. So basically she sits down with Aunt Liz, and Aunt Liz really gives her some food for thought, which I love. She lets her know.
I love that they show PJ, their babu, which apparently in Swahili means grandfather. And I like that, they're just like teaching her like little words and, and showing her who he is. And I love PJ's hair. I just want to say that. I don't know who did PJ's hair.
Twine
with the strings. It was super duper cute. Super duper cute. But go ahead, Trace. I had to get that.
No. So basically Aunt Liz gives Porsha some real food for thought. And she's like, I know that this situation has been difficult. She's like, but I'm going to let you know, this is why we like Aunt Liz. Aunt Liz is real. Yes, she may be shady, but she has no cut card.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably why her and Londi get along so well. Because she basically told Porsha, look, you messed up. You should have just took you, Dennis, Simon, and that baby on that trip if you were really trying to do a blended family situation. You involved too many people that didn't have shit to do with making you guys come together. And as I told Nell's last scene, she points out, and Dom and Storm were major parts of that unraveling.
She did say that you could have done without the influence of Dom and Storm. She did say that.
And so I already said, I don't feel like Aunt Liz is here for Storm or Dom. We know she's not here for Dom, but I just knew she wasn't here for Storm. Especially because of the way she was coming at Londi and the way they so close. But I give Aunt Liz enough benefit of the doubt to know that she's not that type of person. She goes with what's right. She's not going off of, because you my homegirl. So I could appreciate what she told Porsha. She gave her a lot to think about, really sit and unpack. And she's basically like, I do think that you could make this blended family work. And I did see Dennis trying, and you guys were almost there.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I love when she said this, she said, but what you need to do, moving forward is every time Dennis comes over or has to interact and be involved with the family, everything is fine until cheating gets brought up, which is kind of true because we saw it at the cookout. We saw it during Mexico. Anytime that is, but any other time they can flow.
Yeah, and she's saying that every time he comes around, he shouldn't have to relive.
He shouldn't have to relive that. Yeah. So Porsha seems like she's really listening. She's a little bit more open. And Liz says, I'll even have a conversation with Dennis for you if it'll help.
She also, apparently little PJ, she has to have surgery, and
Porsha, she has to get her tonsils removed.
She has to get her tonsils taken out. She's reached out through text to let Dennis know about this. So Liz is like, oh, so you mean you guys are going to be sitting up in the bed eating ice cream, while she's recovering? And she's like, yeah. She's like, well, while you're doing that, let Dennis come over. Portia's like, to my house? Well, he came to your house before. I don't know if you knew.
Yeah.
He came to your house before, okay? You wasn't there, but he came to your house before, okay? So she's like, yeah. And you know what's so funny? I feel like it didn't take Porsha long to be like, okay.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, I think I'm going to follow her advice.
But I also think too, time, like as they say, time heals all wounds and all that other stuff. So I think that too, she just may be a little bit more open now that it's been a couple of days or a few days. She's been removed for the trip. She's had time to think about her responsibility in the situation and actually have someone talk to her and correct her and just her thinking about what she could have done differently. So I hope that it goes well. That's all we can hope for.
So apparently Mama Gina is working in the hot dog factory with Dennis. Well, I don't think Dennis works there, but working for Dennis. And she said that it helps her to work to get her mind off of things. But she pulls Dennis to the side and she wants to discuss what happened in Mexico. And Dennis, it seems like Dennis didn't really want to really unpack it because he's like, this is a fight between the mother of my daughter and my mother. He's like, the three women that I care about the most in the world is Porsha, PJ, and Mama Gina. Yeah. So he's like, you just can't, you can't get mad at everything. And she's like, well, it's not about being mad. It's about the disrespect. I will say she should definitely feel disrespected if Porsha did lunge at her. I did not see Porsha lunge at her, but apparently this is what happened. Tree's seen it. Dennis seen it, and it is inexcusable. On the other hand, I don't know. I just feel like I'm making excuses for her. I don't want to excuse her behavior if this was the case. And she did actually lunge at her. But I would like to unpack the fact that Mama Gina has not been, Porsha's biggest supporter. She has not been in her corner at all for the mistakes that her son has made. And I feel in a way that Porsha feels from Mama Gina a little attacked, a little ganged up on. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not looking good. But we basically see that Dennis is trying to tell Mama Gina, you need to fall back. You need to let me and Porsha work out our own issues because it creates an extra amount of stress and shit when you involve yourself in the situation. And I'm just trying to establish a relationship where I can have a comfortable relationship with the mother of my child. Mama Gina's just like, it is what it is. I think she understands, but she doesn't want to understand because she's a meddling mother. I mean, that's what it is. We then see Lauren talking to Porsha, and they take on this assignment that Simon has gave her, that she has to unpack all of Dennis's stuff. Now we see here at the bottom left a list of Dennis's stuff that is missing. However, when her and Lauren go on a hunt, they managed to find some ponytails.
They found a bag. It was a bag of socks. Then apparently, after getting on the phone with Larry, which is Miss Diane's honey, he lets her know that there's some dishes, which they find. She calls them the first move out dishes, his apartment dishes.
Move out dishes in your apartment.
There was something else,
Porsha, because he a whole man. You know, men don't care about stuff like that.
Apparently, Dennis has a different idea of what's in the house that belongs to him. But you know what? As he said it, production actually pointed it out in her home. They pointed out the grill. They pointed out the couch. I don't remember the entertainment system, but Porsha did say that the furniture was hers. So I wouldn't even really give a damn. For looking at the furniture in Porsha's living room up here in this top right corner, you have some beautiful furniture. That couch down in the basement, boo, is an eyesore. So I would want to get rid of that shit.
Right. I'd be like, if you want it, take it.
Go get you a U-Haul, sir, and come get this shit, this ugly shit out my goddamn house. Because that looked like some first apartment shit too.
But it's the spite of it all. That's what it really is about. It's the spite of it all.
From who?
From her. She just don't want him to have it, even if it's ugly and she not gonna use it and it's sitting down in the basement. She just don't.
Yeah, see, I'm not that bitch. I'm the type nigga. You gotta
come get your.
Have a week.
It's taking up my space. Come get
your shit out my house.
I'm very much the same way. All right, y'all. So we basically see Porsha on the phone with Mama Diane. She's giving her calls the day before PJ's surgery. She's getting her tonsils and what was the adenoids?
Well, she apparently has been diagnosed with sleep apnea. So because of that, she has to get her tonsils removed as well as her adenoids. And Porsha's stressing because she's so small, and because they're doing this full surgery, she's got to stay in the hospital for 1 or 2 days. And apparently she can't have really good pain medicine because of how small she is. So she is basically running around the house like a chicken with her head cut off. She's packing her baby's bag. She completely forgot she needed to pack for herself.
Yeah.
Because, that's stressful. That's stressful as hell. I could.
Nobody would want to do it.
So, yeah. So in the midst of getting, having the conversation with Mama Diane, she gets a call from the gate. And it seems like Dennis is coming to the house to drop off PJ. PJ gets there with Dennis, and it seems like Porsha invited Dennis in to chat for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And this is the very last scene, but from what I gathered, Dennis was very hesitant.
He was like, nah.
To come into the house. It seemed like he was very hesitant to come in the house. And of course, that was insane. They leave us with cliffhangers like that.
But what I was more upset about was when they came on with the preview of next episode and said it was the finale.
Yeah. How many episodes? What episode?
So this is, I think, 6. That would make the finale 7. So she got a 7-episode season.
Okay.
And the reason she probably only got 7 is because the fight lasted 2, possibly 3. So yeah, I am interested to see the previews. It looks like Simon is trying to check Aunt Liz. I don't know where.
Yeah. It seemed like they were having a conversation. He said, you need to respect her. And I don't know where he was going with that, but I know at no point did I feel like
in his fullness, because right now I'm like, all this praise that we gave you, Simon, is about to go right out the window. Because what you're not going to do is mess with Aunt Liz. Now that's a bitch that we fuck with, right?
What I'm hoping is he was having a conversation with Aunt Liz, but was referring to someone else. They were having a conversation about someone else, not him actually telling Aunt Liz, you need to respect her. Because for one, I've never seen where Aunt Liz ever disrespected Porsha, for one. And for two, who the fuck are you to tell Aunt Liz?
Ass.
You know.
Look, you might be older than a lot of these motherfuckers, but let me tell you, you're not older than me.
And really, you ain't really got to be a part of this family, homie. So.
Yeah. Well, looks like Porsha is trying to go out with a bang. I don't know what to say after that. Thank you guys for tuning in to this messiness of it all. It was traumatic. I feel like I need to go have a drink and have a nap or something. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please make sure that
as always, comment
and make sure you subscribe
and hit the notification bell
so you know when we have new episodes coming through, guys.
As well as follow us on all social media platforms.
Thank you so much. Love you guys and have a good night, Shade Squad. We will catch you next time.
Mwah. Back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Hey!